I want to show you something about California that nobody talks about. Everyone knows California is expensive. The median home price hit $782,000 in May 2026. A starter home in San Francisco costs over $1 million. This is not new information. Here's what is new information. There are towns inside California, real towns with real residents, that are losing people so fast the local government can barely keep the lights on. Towns that filed for bankruptcy. Towns that were once thriving and are now quietly hollowing out. And even in those towns, the dying ones, homes cost more than the national average. That is the California housing story nobody is telling. Tonight, 8 towns. What happened to them? What homes cost right now? And the question that nobody in California real estate wants to answer. If people are leaving, why aren't prices dropping? Subscribe. Let's find out. Number 8. Needles, California. Needles, California holds a record most cities would not want. It is regularly recorded as the hottest city in the United States. Not hottest in California. In America, summer temperatures in Needles regularly exceed 115 degrees Fahrenheit. In 1883, the highest temperature ever recorded in California at that time was logged here. The Colorado River runs alongside it, which sounds pleasant until you realize the water temperature in summer reaches 85 degrees. Needles sits on Route 66 on the Arizona border, the last California town before you cross into a different state. At its peak, every traveler on the most famous road in America passed through here. Gas, food, water, the town mattered. Then, Interstate 40 bypassed Route 66, and Needles stopped mattering to travelers who now passed 50 miles to the north without stopping. The 2026 projected population for Needles is 4,835, declining at an annual rate of 0.4%. The poverty rate stands at 29.73%. Median household income $38,243, and the median home listing price in July 2026 $209,000, down 12% from last year. $209,000 in the hottest, most isolated, most economically struggling town on this list. In Oklahoma, that buys you a house in a city with real infrastructure. In Needles, it buys you a house where summer is a medical event. Needles is hot and declining. The next town is larger, colder, and broke in a way that made national headlines. Number 7. Vallejo, California. 30 miles north of San Francisco on the shores of San Pablo Bay, there is a city with one of the most dramatic views in the entire Bay Area and one of the most dramatic financial collapses. Vallejo, California filed for Chapter 9 bankruptcy in May 2008. It became the largest California city to declare bankruptcy at the time, pushed over the edge by the 2008 recession on top of already weak finances, mounting pension costs, and a declining tax base. Vallejo emerged from bankruptcy in 2011 and has since focused on financial reforms and rebuilding, but challenges remain in maintaining fiscal stability and public services. Here's the Vallejo detail that makes this genuinely complicated. The city's views, the bay, the water, the proximity to San Francisco kept demand for housing alive even through the bankruptcy. People who couldn't afford Marin County or the East Bay looked at Vallejo and saw an option. As of early 2026, the median listing price in the Vallejo-Fairfield area sits around $577,000, though neighborhood-level prices vary significantly. More affordable pockets of Vallejo show homes in the $400,000 range. $400,000 in a city that went bankrupt 18 years ago. That still has challenges with public services. That is 30 miles from San Francisco, which tells you everything about California real estate that you need to know. Vallejo went bankrupt and still costs $400,000. Stockton went bankrupt and broke a different kind of record. Number 6. Stockton, California. In the mid-2000s, Stockton, California was spending like the good times would last forever. A $46 million glass hockey arena, a taxpayer-funded minor league baseball stadium, generous salaries and benefits for city workers, and thousands of new residents arriving from the Bay Area priced out of San Francisco and Oakland, believing Stockton was the affordable alternative. We spent like the good times would go on forever, admitted Stockton spokeswoman Connie Cochran. Then 2008 happened. By July 2012, Stockton had become the largest city in U.S. history to file for bankruptcy. The city faced a $26 million budget deficit and roughly $700 million in debt. Home prices had crashed from nearly $400,000 in 2006 to just $110,000 3 years later. Stockton emerged from bankruptcy in 2015 and has spent the last decade rebuilding. New housing, downtown redevelopment, and its location between the Bay Area and Sacramento continue to attract commuters. But here's the reality today. The average Stockton home is worth about $429,000. That's down 5.5% from last year, and more than 1 in 4 homes had their asking price reduced in 2025. 5, the highest rate of price cuts of any major California city, the largest municipal bankruptcy in American history, and today, the average home still costs more than $400,000. In Stockton, Stockton's bankruptcy made national headlines. The next town's bankruptcy got less attention, but its story is just as dramatic. Number 5, San Bernardino, California. San Bernardino, California is the birthplace of McDonald's. The first McDonald's restaurant ever built, opened in 1940 on West 14th Street, was here. In San Bernardino, Richard and Maurice McDonald created it, refined the speedy service system that became the model for fast food everywhere, and eventually sold the concept to Ray Kroc. The company that feeds 69 million people a day worldwide started in San Bernardino, and 2 months after Stockton filed for bankruptcy, San Bernardino followed in August 2012. A 1994 naval base closure had already cost the city 10,000 jobs and triggered an economic downturn that left it especially vulnerable when the 2008 recession hit. San Bernardino, the birthplace of fast food and the foundation of an industry worth more than $800 billion, couldn't afford its own bills. The average San Bernardino home value today is $492,059, up just 0.3% over the past year, virtually flat, in a city that went bankrupt, in the Inland Empire, where summer heat rivals Arizona, in a city where the poverty rate remains high and the legacy of that base closure never fully healed. $492,000 in San Bernardino. California doesn't let a city go cheap, not even when that city has given it every reason to. San Bernardino is flat and struggling. The next town is something different, a small agricultural city that somehow became the cheapest real estate in California. Number 4, Fresno, California. Everything we've covered so far is decline. Fresno is something different. Fresno is consistently ranked the cheapest place to live in California, and in a state with a median home price of $782,000, that distinction matters. The average Fresno home value is $391,319, up 0.3% over the past year. $391,000. In California, that is genuinely affordable. In the rest of America, it's above the national average, which tells you everything about what affordable means in this state. Fresno sits in the San Joaquin Valley, the agricultural center of California. The Sierra Nevada is visible on clear days. The cost of living runs 12% below the California state average. The annual cost of living for a retiree in Fresno is as low as $51,020, the lowest of any city in the state. Fresno is not dying. It's actually growing slowly, but it belongs on this list because it represents what passes for affordable in California. $391,000 for a home in a city where the economy depends on agriculture and where summer temperatures regularly exceed 100 degrees. This is California's bargain bin. Fresno is California's cheapest large city. The next town is smaller, stranger, and emptying out in a way that makes its price tag hard to explain. Number 3, Blythe, California. Blythe, California sits on the Colorado River at the Arizona border, and the river is beautiful, green, wide, and dramatic against the desert landscape in a way that genuinely surprises people who arrive expecting nothing but heat and sand. The problem is that most people are arriving in Blythe to leave California, crossing into Arizona not to stay. Blythe's economy is built around agriculture in the Palo Verde Valley and travelers passing through on Interstate 10. Neither is expanding. Both are shrinking in importance. The average Blythe home value is $222,305, down 3.6% over the past year. In March 2026, the median sale price was $245,000, down 5.8% year over year. Homes spend an average of 104 days on the market, 104 days. In California, where most markets move in weeks, Blythe homes are sitting for over 3 months. That is the market telling you something. $222,000 for a home on the Colorado River. Prices are falling. Homes are sitting. The population is declining. By California standards, Blythe is cheap. By American standards, it's average. By any standard, it's a town that's watching its reason to exist slowly fade. Blythe is emptying quietly. The next town went bankrupt twice and still somehow costs more. Number 2, Central Valley, small towns. I want to talk about the towns you've never heard of. Not Stockton, not Fresno, the towns between them. Stockton tops California's list for price cuts, with over 1 in 4 homes reduced in 2025. Fresno follows with 20.3% of homes discounted, and Modesto is close behind. These numbers don't come from booming markets. They come from markets where demand is softening, and sellers are adjusting to a reality that buyers figured out first. The Central Valley runs down the middle of California for 450 250 miles, the richest agricultural land in the world, and scattered across it are dozens of small towns, agricultural communities, railroad towns, processing plant towns that are losing population every single year to larger cities, to other states, to anywhere that offers more opportunity. Census data shows Chula Vista, San Jose, and Stockton all saw populations decline by between 0.2 and 0.4% in recent years. The data doesn't specify exactly where those residents moved, but some likely relocated to other parts of California, while others left the state altogether. These small Central Valley towns don't make headlines. They don't file for bankruptcy dramatically. They just slowly empty. School enrollment drops, the diner closes, the hardware store is replaced by a dollar store, then the dollar store closes, and the homes, in places where the median household income is under $40,000, still cost $200,000, $250,000, even $300,000. Because California, the Central Valley is emptying quietly, and the most expensive dying town on this list is somewhere that will genuinely surprise you. Number 1. San Francisco exurbs also know as California's Great Exodus Towns. And here's the California story that ties everything together. In May 2026, the median home price in California was $782,221, up 2.3% from last year. The average home value across California, $775,549, and California is losing people. Census data shows California's major cities, Chula Vista, San Jose, and Stockton, all losing residents. Texas has long been the top out-of-state destination for Californians leaving, although more recent migration has increasingly shifted toward Florida and Arizona. People are leaving, prices are rising, both things are true at the same time. Here's why, and it matters for everyone watching this who either lives in California or is thinking about moving there. The people leaving California are largely renters and middle-income earners, people who can't afford to buy and can't keep up with the cost of living. The people staying and the people moving in are higher earners, remote workers, and homeowners who benefit from rising property values. So prices keep rising because the buyers who remain can afford them, and the people who can't leave. And the towns we've covered tonight, Needles, Vallejo, Stockton, San Bernardino, Fresno, and Blythe, sit in the middle of this. Too expensive for the people leaving, too troubled for the people who can afford to stay. The California housing market is not broken. It is working exactly as designed. For the people it was designed for. Everyone else is loading a U-Haul, $775,000. That's the average California home. Needles, $209,000, the hottest city in America. Poverty rate nearly 30%. Blythe, $222,000. Homes sitting on the market for 104 days. Population declining. Stockton, $429,000. Went bankrupt. Home prices are still falling. And the California dream, the one that brought millions of people to this state, now costs $775,000 on average. That's not a dream anymore. That's the question California hasn't answered yet.